I think my personal opinion is the intent of the state program and the county administration of that program is incentivizing and not really being punitive against business. So I guess I find it's just problematic to me to vote for a $1 penalty, which seems kind of a slap. I don't know. This is frustrating to me.
Paul?
Just for way of explanation, one of the reasons that the state is willing to fund commute trip reduction is that if you look at the capital budget of the state of Washington, a huge portion is building highways and roads. The same thing is true of the city of Washougal. If you could reduce traffic by only 1% and avoid having to spend that money on a new street or highway project, it would more than pay for itself in what this commute trip reduction does. And of course, to pay for those capital expenses, those are paid for with taxes. So in a big way, this is smart use of tax money in a way to reduce taxes. I also am very concerned that the city very much depends upon grant funding from the various boards and funds of the federal government and the state government. And there always are many more applications than there are funding. So in some ways, this is like trying to win a medal in figure skating at the Olympics. Simply saying, well, I followed all of the rules isn't enough. You really have to embrace the rules and show that you can turn the rules into something great. That's the only way that you get room on the podium. And that's very much like winning grants. So I'm deeply concerned that a $1 per violation fee really says to the Washington Department of Transportation and the Transportation Improvement Board and all of the other funding agencies that we think you're jerks. And so I also am very uncomfortable with $1 as the violation. Not that I expect that we'll ever charge it. And I think that's a key point also, that what's important here is the impression that we make on people who can write big checks.
At some point, you have to stand up for yourself. This is the time. This is the issue. Director Evers mentioned that he provided information to me. So did the people who came down here to defend this policy from Vancouver, including the county administrator who's going to administer the project for Clark County. She was kind enough to provide me with a copy of the 2009 report of what this effort has accomplished in the state of Washington. 92,000 some odd commute trip reductions. Great. And the vast majority of those are in the Seattle area, according to the report. This program was created by people in major metropolitan areas, and they even call them that in the report, for metropolitan areas. It's not going to do that much for Washougal. We're certainly not a major metropolitan area. It's going to burden employers unnecessarily, and this $1 a day is a way to get the employer out from being burdened with this unnecessary time and effort and expense. So I understand my colleagues' discomfort with standing up to the people in Olympia, but there comes a time when you have to do it, and I think we're at that point, and I'm willing to stand up and take them on this issue. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
John?
Just a couple of points, clarification. We passed the $1 fine, okay? Then we get down the road and someone says, you can't do that, or what have you. Then basically all that has to do is come back to us and we just change it, right? If we're out of compliance. That's correct? Okay.
Would be an option if somebody came back and said that to you.
Right, okay. The other aspect is, we talk about this only affecting employees with, businesses with 100 employees or more, but what happens when they lower that to 50 employees, then 25 employees? At what point do we draw the line and say, well, the state knows best. They have a great idea. They are much wiser than we are here in Washougal in our own backyard, in our own city. No, I don't think this will affect our grant money at all when we go after it. I think what this does is just say, listen, when we have businesses coming in here, and we do expect to get businesses that have 100 employees or more, this council is going to do everything we can to abide by the law, but we're going to do everything we can to help those businesses thrive and not have the burden of the state government breathing down their neck.
Other final comments?
Mr. Mayor, I rise to propose an amendment to the motion on the floor to change the $1 to $100 for the first violation per day and subsequent violations to $50 per day.
Second. Making some notes.
Now, is it proper, just point of clarification, point of order? Is it proper to make a motion when there's an amendment on the table? Can you make a motion to table?
I
at
didn't
any
go to that
point?
last meeting when they had the parliamentary procedure.
Right. You can make a motion to table this until the next meeting?
Well, I think there's a motion on the floor now that.
Right, but doesn't table trump everything, though?
I don't
Not
think so.
everything.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I believe the motion
I
that
took notes of that
that
meeting.
Councilman Greenlee made is appropriate in terms of acting on it at this point. You have a motion and a second.
My recollection is that a motion to table to a time certain is in fact a higher precedence than the amendment.
Okay. I make a motion to table this to our next city council meeting.
Second?
Got a motion and a second to table this to the next council meeting, which would be
The 19th.
April 19th. I guess, a small comment as we move that direction, because this one will have to get voted on. I'm hopeful at some point the council will reach a resolution on this item. Again, it no longer affects just the city of Washougal. We're now affecting the other jurisdictions in the city of, or in the county of Clark that are all affected by the